just so I can monitor the chat room. My channel and call it Cthulhu. Turn that all the way down and let's. Okay. So, new game. I have not played any of this. So, Boston 1924. Edward Pierce, veteran of the First World War, drowns his memories in liquor and sleeping pills. He is now a private detective who has trouble finding. I think that's just me. Finding a case to lift him from his torpor. Pierce must find a new case quickly or risk losing his license. Well, that sucks. Sucks to be fucking him. And naturally, I've got my coffee. And I made it better today. So while it's still loading, I'm sorry that I'm not finishing up the Town of Light, but like I said, I picked this up today, and I really wanted to try this. Let's enter madness. So we're going into my mind. If I am mad, it is mercy. May the gods pity the man who in his callousness, sane, hideous end, H.P. Lovecraft. Oh, this looks amazing. I'm gonna take one headphone off so I don't accidentally get too loud. Holy shit, that's a sock. Shark. Why did I almost say sock? Oh, this looks good. So, I've barely followed this game, and so, like, it looks amazing. And I know that there's a board game called Call of Cthulhu, which I've yet to play, but hopefully... Can I not open this? Oh, this is another game where I can't... This whole looks like parts of sharks. Yeah, that is blatantly a shark. Okay, what's the menu look like? Okay. Okay, so I crouch, lean. Oh, why does this remind me of Outlast? Okay, that's to run. Oh, that's really like the fog. I think that's like fog. Okay, crouch is. So I'm getting serious Outlast vibes. And I can barely see except for where there's light. So I may turn up the brightness for you guys. I can see. Thank you. Okay. So I've got bolt cutter. So wait, what does that do for me? Is that gonna like protect me?
In my wake, pulled along, fate inescapably draws you on.
Oh. Is that Cthulhu? Take my lantern. I'm gonna rename this episode as Take My Lantern. What is that? I apparently am not allowed to know what that is. That is an orca. That is a killer whale. What the hell is going on here? It's like just flat out, like I know the game is kind of all about madness, but this just threw you in with no context. Wait, did I use up my... Did I only get the one freaking... Okay. I probably shouldn't be running this early into the game, but... Ah, screw it. Okay. There we go. It's nice that they actually have animated all of like the movements, so it's not just like, oh, I'm randomly gonna be able to do this thing. This door just opens for no reason. Oh, that's so grotesque. Like, I love sharks. Like, I think they're such amazing creatures, but this is just horrible. And this is horrible. Like, it looks so cool, but oh, it's so bad. Like, oh my lord. Especially since the fact that we have got no context as to what the hell is going on. Okay, wait. I think there's a way I can go down here. Oh, this is so cool. Okay, that is very eerie, and I don't like that. Okay, so I think the way forward is over here. I don't know. Just things like that over there remind me of Resident Evil 4 when you shoot the lake a bunch of times. Excuse me as I take a drink. When you shoot the lake a bunch of times, and then it just some.
What a putrid offering.
Yeah, the orca, maybe. Like, oh. Like, it's so. Wait, where the hell's the eyes? I don't see any eyes on this thing. Oh, it's just piles of. Like, I like how you can see the bugs. Holy shiza. Guys, that is why I didn't go over there. I don't know why I pointed like you guys can actually see me point, but yeah.
Don't fight. You have been chosen.
How about no? How about you fuck off?
Behold. Everything has already been written. But perhaps you will attempt to change your destiny.
Cthulhu's an actual entity in this? Oh, he's got murdered. Oh, if I ever needed a reason not to take sleeping pills.
I hate whiskey.
Then why are you drinking it?
I wonder why I still take these things.
The doctor prescribed them when I returned from the war. They swore that they would put an end to the nightmares, but for a while now their effect has returned. Okay, so I can look at my diary? Okay. Okay, one sec. Okay, so that's my inventory. Okay, the case. Pierce Investigation Agency. The doctor can well repeat to me that I no longer need my remedy to keep my memories at bay, but no. I know if I stop, the memories will return. One of these mornings, I probably won't wake up. Despite my treatment, I again hear voices in my dreams, but they're different, unknown. They seem to surface from unfathomable and ancient depths. What nameless creature is calling me? Oh, that sounds so cool. So, equidence represents your ability to influence those you talk to by your powers of speech. Strength represents the ability you can call your physical, yeah. Medicine represents your medical knowledge, improving a skill. Determining the dosage of drugs, making a diagnosis, and expressing your understanding of the medical problem. Occultism, your knowledge of occult science. Psychology represents your knowledge of the human behavior, improving the skill of understand the motivations of people. His or her behavior. And a spot hidden. To find hidden objects. Okay, and investigation represents your investigating talents. And nope, nope, nope. So, and then there's sanity. uh, Edward Pierce is a veteran of the First World War, where he took part in Meuse Argonne offensive. He is one of the few survivors of the Lost Battalion. Oh, I know about this actually, kind of. American units that suffered heavily losses from the enemy and Allied artillery fire. Forced to hold their position for several days, surrounded by the bodies of their fallen comrades without food or medical supplies, the soldiers were considered as lost by their fellow countrymen. Pierce is traumatized by these events. He consumes sleeping pills and liquor to ward off the nightmares that haunt him. Sanity. Confident in your abilities and your Cartesian mind, you conduct your investigation by sticking to the facts, your convictions, and your perceptions of reality. Your conclusions are logical and reliable. Oh, cool. Okay, so my mental thing can move around. And I don't know a lot about the Lost Battalion, but there's a fantastic song by the band Sabaton that actually goes over them. Okay, I have no information on this. So, Pierce Investigation Agency, my private detective agency, contacted through the Wentworth Detective Agency after the Great War. I decided to set up in Boston, where there was no lack of work for guys like me. One small-time case follows the other. Adulterers, settled scores, disappearances that are not actually disappearances. The cold office couch is less comfortable than a real bed, but I should probably get rid of these empty bottles, but this place is mine for the moment. Okay. And I have no evidence on the occult yet. And inventory. The Lost Battalion, 10-7-18. My old lighter that I engraved the memory of the 77th Infantry Division and the men of the Lost Battalion who fell.
Been too long since I've slept in a bed.
So this kind of almost sounds like what's that voice act? Who's that guy? From Vampire. Like, that's kind of who he's reminding me of.
I used to be an avid reader.
I love how old
The Wentworth
books look.
Agency doesn't attract top-notch cases. Married woman runs off with her girlfriend. The husband couldn't understand it.
The husband never understood that his wife had left him. He kept calling me weeks after the investigation had been closed. Well, I take my hat. That's kind of a cool hat.
A good old story of blackmail in a speakeasy.
Bar owner who hired me didn't like the way I closed this case, but when you're already outside the law, there's not a lot one can do against a private detective who's got proof against you. Yeah, true.
Natural sciences, linguistics, archaeology.
My dad's stupid.
I should get rid of all this stuff. I should get rid of all this stuff.
Much better.
Been a while since I jotted down something other than my nightmares.
Okay. Despite the treatment wait. Okay. But wait, what did I just pick up? Okay. I guess pick up the phone.
I'm listening.
Are you Edward Pierce, private investigator contracted by the Wentworth Detective Agency?
That's correct.
Hello, Mr. Pierce. I'm Lucy Sherifield, in charge of investigators over at Wentworth. I'm calling because of a problem with your file. A fire has destroyed some of our documents.
Is that right?
I'm so very sorry, but I have to collect your personal information yet again.
Oh, cool. I can tweak my character a bit to my own liking. Okay, so I think being able to talk is important, except okay, medicine. That's kind of important. The science of the occult, because I know this is an occult-like game, so that is going to be important. Psychology, I don't know how important that's going to be. Oh my lord, these are both take 6 to do. Oh, wait. Oh, okay. Oh, that's weird. Okay, so I don't, when I need it for the next level, so I can partially level them up. That's interesting. That is actually really interesting, I think. I'm gonna go with during interactive discussions. It's manipulated during discussions. An undiscovered object will not appear in game. I feel like this is going to be important, so I'm going to do that one. Trying to validate this character point.
Thank you for this information, Mr. Pierce. Our files will soon be up to date. And on a related matter, may I raise a sensitive question?
What's wrong?
As you know, we wish to closely monitor the progress of our contractors. And it would seem you've been accepting fewer new cases.
Work is scarce.
Mr. Pierce, you know as well as I do, there's never been more investigative work than now.
But are those cases worth it?
They're worth not losing your license. Show yourself worthy of the Wentworth Detective Agency, and we might keep you on the payroll. Mr. Pierce, are you still...
I'm coming.
Sir, I came here on the advice of a person whom I hold in high esteem, and I must say that I expected anything but a drunkard's lair.
You're free to leave anytime, sir.
Do you know to whom you speak?
Stephen Webster, industrialist and art collector. All of Boston knows you.
Tell me, Mr. Pierce, are you capable of handling a new case, or are you simply a deadbeat inebriate?
If you come to me, it means you're desperate.
Nobody believes me. They take me for an old fool. Sarah, my little girl, she is dead. Even you must know of her. She was Sarah Hawkins.
The painter? Yes. Everyone knows her work.
The police accuse her of killing her family. They all died in a fire. Sarah, her husband, and Simon, my grandson.
I can't do anything for a woman who is already dead.
Find out the truth. They say she was mad, but I know that's a lie. She would never have done such a thing.
But if you have no proof...
I've brought all that I have. Look. I want you to look carefully at this painting. Tell me all the assumptions that come to mind.
What am I supposed to find?
Tell me if this is the work of madness. Or if, on the contrary, you manage to detect some logic, a rationality to follow so that I may understand it.
Is that all you want from me?
Yes, please.
All right. I'll look at your picture.
Okay, so
That's all you've got? The painting?
I placed a file on your desk. It contains everything I have on the affair.
So the voice acting reminds me of... Okay. Examine the painting and... The Doctor... Okay. A strange picture painted by Sarah Hawkins a short while before her tragic death was sent to her father just after the artist died. He is convinced she is the sender. He brought me the painting so I can examine it. Stephen Webster, a wealthy industrialist, came to my office. He wants me to reopen the Sarah Hawkins case, named after his daughter, who died in a fire alongside her entire family. I must examine the documents he compiled in order to know more about the case. Wait, didn't I just... yeah. So, kind of as I was saying, the voice acting reminds me kind of the old Oblivion.
Its strange beauty isn't enough to hide the feeling of dread it carries.
Is that all you got for me? That is actually really cool. Like, I would actually hang that up.
A warehouse on Darkwater. Some sketches of the Hawkins family. Rather thin.
Okay, so a shipping label. Some of it is... It's... Wait, that almost kind of looks like my character. Not really, but it kind of. Some of it is unreadable, but I can make out part of the address. Warehouse 36, Darkwater. The police report. It says that a fire was started in the dining room and claimed the whole family. The police decided on domestic accident, but they nevertheless insist on Sarah Hawkins' mental frailty. Why? A press cut. An article written about the missing marriage of Sarah and Charles Hawkins, a businessman from the island of Darkwater. They live a recluse life with their only son, Simon.
So, Mr. Pierce, what do you make of these elements?
Oh, this is cool. Okay, so I'm gonna find
The
out more about
sender's
this
label
warehouse.
mentions Warehouse 36.
That's right. It came with Sarah's last painting.
And you think your daughter could have been the sender?
That is what you must find out. Go to Darkwater. Find Warehouse 36.
Okay.
Her husband was a big deal on the island. But the police are sticking to the accident theory. Though they mentioned Sarah's mental state was fragile. I believe you are right, sir. This case is not as simple as it appears.
I am aware of that. I believe there is more to this case than just an accident.
I read about mental...
You must tell me if what the police suggest about the mental state of your daughter is true.
No. Sarah had visions. Everyone knew that. She never would have hurt a fly. She only thought she saw things.
Saw things? What do you mean by that?
I never knew what she meant by that. My daughter was an enigmatic figure, Mr. Pierce. You must find out the truth about her life and death.
Darkwater. Never heard of the place. Where is that?
It's a small, remote island off the coast of Boston. Sarah lived there with her son and her husband.
I suppose you want to ship me off there.
Darkwater holds the secret regarding my daughter, Mr. Pierce. You must uncover it.
So, I don't want to just say that he's asking
The sender's label mentions...
That's right.
And you think your daughter...
That is what... Go to
I don't want to just say that he's asking...
I'm a private investigator, not an art critic.
I guess you're not as clever as you think, then. The painting is linked to this case, can't you see? You must find the meaning behind all this.
Okay.
I think I'm beginning to understand.
I'm willing to do anything for my daughter to recover her honor.
Quiet down. I'm on your side. Let's sum things up. An artist dies with her family in a house fire. Your only clue is a sort of promontory painting sent from Darkwater right before her death.
Correct. And the rumors about her supposed folly.
Which you don't totally deny.
Find that warehouse. Find out the truth regarding Sarah Hawkins' death. You will be handsomely compensated.
All right. I'll take the case. I'll go to Darkwater and look into the death of your daughter.
Thank you, Mr. Pierce. I didn't expect any less coming from a man in your situation.
What a dick.
Something's queer. But it's not like I have a choice. Darkwater. I think I've got a book on the North Atlantic. I'll no doubt find some information on this island. I used to be an avid reader.
Okay, let's see what my thing says now. Oh, there remains something on Darkwater. Okay. Okay, so... Okay. Occupation. Stephen Webster, age 65, occupation businessman. A wealthy businessman, well respected in the Boston area. Stephen Webster. Jesus Christ, why am I yawning so much? Came to see me in order that I investigate the death of his only daughter, Sarah Hawkins. The man accepts neither refuses nor inconceivable truths. He is ready to do anything to prove that his daughter was not mad. Charles Hawkins, deceased, age 41, occupation shipowner. Charles Hawkins was a local celebrity on Darkwater, the heir to the shipowner family. He used to travel a lot. He met Sarah during a trip to Paris. They fell in love, got married. Hawkins took her to the remote island of Darkwater. They had a son named Simon and lived a very secretive life. Sarah Hawkins, deceased, age 33, occupation painter. Sarah Hawkins, a painter known for her tortured artistic universe. Fun. She was worshipped for the strangeness of her work and rarity of her public appearances. I seem to remember that she once said, "I paint what my dreams whisper to me." Oh, I wonder if she's in the similar situation as our main character. Her marriage to Charles Hawkins years ago surprised high society columnists. A wealthy Boston heiress known for her party-going chooses to follow her new husband and live as a recluse on the island of Darkwater. She disappeared from the front pages of newspapers and no one heard any more about her. Even her death in a fire remained a secret. Only her father, Stephen Webster, continues to seek the truth. Simon Hawkins, deceased, age 11. Oh, poor boy. Occupation schoolboy. Only son of Sarah and Charles Hawkins. He died in a fire that claimed his whole family. Poor boy. Art of Sarah Hawkins. It isn't the occult. I'm sorry, guys. Intuitive and visionary artist for some, overpriced imposter for others. Sarah Hawkins leaves nobody indifferent. This mysterious and reserved painter offers strange images with violent colors and wild strokes to the world. If her paintings are testimony to her visions of the world, then the world of Sarah Hawkins is a portal open to another dimension. Interesting. Okay, so I've got... So I'm guessing in her picture that it's her and her son she's painting. Painted by Sarah Hawkins. This painting depicts a monstrous silhouette threatening a woman and child. Flames can be made out in the background. Stephen Webster, the father of Sarah Hawkins, thinks this is linked to the death of his daughter. I already read that. Okay. So now I'm up to... Can I get any more from that? Wait, did that move? Okay. Oh wait, can I take a drink? Can I... Well, please tell me I can take a drink. Have a drink. Oh, that's cool! So this game actually has, like, some actual replayability. Okay, I'm gonna try and go, now that I know that, kind of go for the tried and true. The learning of medicine. dense work aimed at the interns and young practitioners. The first volume lists all illnesses known to the civilized world. It details the symptoms and suitable treatment. Cool. Now,
I used to be an avid
An
reader.
avid reader, yeah. Find out about Darkwater. Yeah, I want to find out about Darkwater.
Darkwater is off the coast of Boston, but I've never heard of it. According to this book, it was often mentioned during whale hunting times at the end of the 19th century, but it seems to have been shunned since then.
Darkwater Island has been inhabited since the 14th century and is still rich with many memories left by its lost tribes. But don't let the romanticism of these moving evidence of such native and primitive beliefs fool you into forgetting how violent their gods were. A gigantic creature still ornate the walls of long abandoned caves. Was it a sea or a green god? Cthulhu. No one knows, but today's inhabitants and sons and daughters of the proud whale hunters still remember the mysterious and voluminous, I don't think that's a word, but I just said, stories of their small land off the coast of Massachusetts.
All I have to do is go to the port. I just hope that I can find a boat able to take me. Natural sciences, linguistics, archaeology.
Oh, you just gotta leave for Darkwater. Pierce took the Hawkins case. The cursed artist is accused of having caused the fire that killed her and her family. As the only clue, she left her father a disturbing painting. On the shipping label, the address... those are whale bones. Sorry. An address, a warehouse set on the docks of the island Darkwater. The place seems to be the starting point for Pierce's investigation. So I'll probably play this until 1 o'clock in the morning my time. Excuse the slurp, please. Thankfully, I have a lot of other games that I'm going to start live streaming every night around kind of late at night. Then get the channel back to regularity. Enter. Focus home interactive effects. By Cyanide Studios.
We're almost there.
Oh, that looks so cool. Call of Cthulhu. know, I really wish they left out the R. That would have looked so cool. Silly. Scylla? Oh, that's the whale hunting boat. Oh, the fog was awesome.
Stay on board. There's guys coming to unload. Welcome to Darkwater Island, Mr. Pierce.
Why, thank you, Captain Fitzroy.
So, what wind brought you?
Does the Hawkins case mean anything to you?
A sad story that we would all prefer to forget. Charles Hawkins may have been a landlubber, but he was a good man.
And his wife, Sarah Hawkins.
A nice young woman, and a great painter. What a tragedy. You know what? Go have a drink at the Stranded Whale. What you need is a good pick-me-up. Mitchell may not be very welcoming, but his bar holds a surprise for you. As for me, you'll find me at the Harbor Master's office. If it's the Hawkins family that brings you here, I have a pile of documents that should interest you.
Understood. I'm going for a look around the docks.
So, let's see what... Okay, Darkwater Docks. On the approach to Darkwater, I saw thick clouds masking the sky. They were so low, seemed intent on impaling themselves on the sharp reefs that circled the island. Fitzroy, the captain of the only tub that manages to float to the mainland, offered to help me. He may have documents that belong to Charles Hawkins. Fitzroy advised me to visit the port's bar. He mentioned a little pick-me-up. I suppose I could get the lay of the land in some time. Fishermen have gathered around the carcass of a killer whale. I could have a look and see what the local cops have to tell me. Captain Fitzroy offered to share with me what he has found in the Hawkins in the archives of the Harbor Master's office. Oh, that was nice of him. Okay, so next is Pierce. Oh, cool, I got 1 point. So I'm really thinking that I'm gonna continue kind of working on the psychology part, because I feel like that's gonna be important. Oh no, I need to validate, don't I? Validate, there we go. Okay, sanity. So I'm still stable. Dark water, still, oh. Okay, so, the island of Darkwater. It would seem that the world has forgotten the very existence of this isolated rock off the coast of Boston. It is a small, inhospitable island, whose coastline is made up of steep cliffs and sharp reefs, with the only one outlet to the sea. It is mainly inhabited by the descendants of whalers who set up a supply post here in the 1800s. It was hit severely by the collapse of this activity. I think that the only venture on the island that is still profitable is its medical institution. Very interesting. The Darkwater Port. At the entrance to the port of Darkwater, one still passes the front of the shell of Scylla, the last whaling ship to have brought back a catch. Sailors wander the docks looking for some small job for the day. Itchy eyeball. A gang of bootleggers have set itself up and is gnawing away at it. The territory of Captain Fitzroy, the last sailor to own a boat capable of making the round trips between the island and mainland. Here the golden age of whale hunting is but a distant memory. Well, okay, now inventory. Oh, I can inspect it. Okay, that's kind of cool. Okay, so I think that's every... Oh, no, knowledge. So now I have learning medicine and dark water. Yeah. Okay, so I need to go to the bar and to Bradley, but I'm going to go talk to the cops.
Let the police do their work. Hey, Sullivan. Can't you go any faster?
You've seen how old this thing is. If we force it too much, we'll break everything.
You can't do that.
But it's only a fish.
A fish? You've got no idea. Don't badmouth what you don't know, or you'll pay for it for sure.
Okay, that's enough. Step back and let us do our job.
That's no way to treat an omen. Oh, yeah? He's gonna get us into trouble. You can't understand. You're not sailors. It's a sign. There's something coming. Something real bad.
Don't put that beast back in the water, you shysters. You're crazy.
They're cops. They can't understand.
Damn stupid idiots.
Forget it. Nobody listens to us anyway.
That's no way to treat an omen.
Oh, yeah? He's gonna get...
Okay,
Same goes for you, sir. Move along.
That's about warehouse.
I'm looking for this address. Warehouse 36, Darkwater Harbor.
Ah. And so who are you?
I didn't introduce myself. Edward Pierce, private detective.
In any case, it's not very important. I can't answer that.
You can't? Or you don't want to?
Oh, no. I'm not getting into those games, me. Now, please, allow me to do my job.
You can't understand. You're not...
You can see that I'm busy, can't you?
You can't understand.
Don't put that beast back in the water, you shysters. You're crazy.
They're cops. They can't understand.
So
Damn
is the
stupid
thing
idiots.
actually moving
Forget
at
it.
all?
Nobody listens to us anyway.
That's no way to treat an omen.
Oh, yeah? He's gonna get us into trouble. You can't understand. You're not sailors.
I'm
It's a
sorry, guys.
sign.
I'm just wondering
There's
if...
something coming. Something real bad.
Oh, that looks so
Don't put that beast back
good.
in the water, you shysters. You're crazy.
They're cops. They can't
The
understand.
blood is just beginning to coagulate. It died a short time ago. Killer whales have few predators. And there are no sharks in these waters. What creature could possibly have done this?
Don't put that beast back in the water.
These wounds.
Okay.
Don't put that beast back in the water, you shysters. You're crazy.
Can I talk to any of these
Cops.
guys?
They can't understand.
Damn stupid idiots.
Forget it. Nobody listens to us anyway.
Okay, so I can't talk to them.
That's no way to treat an omen.
Oh, yeah?
Okay, so what goes on if I'm over here?
Are you stupid or what? Even your captain told you not to stick your noses around here again.
Nothing for you here either.
This isn't your home,
Beat it.
bunch of sand crabs.
Okay.
We go where we want. Hey, you'll get us into trouble.
You're already in trouble.
Come on, can't we sort this out? You can see he's half drunk.
There's nothing to sort out. Your chum wanted to stir us up.
But you can stay to watch if you want. You can pick up the pieces.
Come on, you bastard. You'll see what a true sailor's got in his belly. You hear that? You bilge rats don't scare me.
What did he call us just now?
I said you were a bilge rat. And even a poxed limpet. You think we don't know what you're doing? Hidden in the fog?
I'll shut up your big mouth once and for all.
Optimistic.
Are you stupid or what? Even your captain told
Okay.
you not to stick your noses around here again.
Connected.
Prohibition is just a joke around here. That suits me fine.
Sorry, I don't want to miss anything. Wait, isn't that the guy who seemed like he shot Cthulhu?
Hey, be careful.
Zero fucks given. Never understood that. You're gonna.
Let's get him another drink. He's dry.
In my bar, we don't serve troublemakers.
That guy was looking for trouble. So choose your camp if you don't want the same treatment.
Hey, buddy, I don't want any trouble.
So serve me a drink.
Just to make things clear, only regulars can run up and tab. Others pay.
I didn't expect to find alcohol on this island. What's the source of this miracle?
You mean who? Our source of supply wouldn't like me to betray them to the first comer.
I'll tell nobody.
She'd know it anyway. Anything else?
The stranded whale. I guess this bar has been here a long time.
What can I tell you? I'm a nostalgic sort of guy. The name, it reminds us of the golden age of dockwater, when our whalers left for long months and came back sweating and stinking of the oil and flesh of the whales they'd been hunting.
It was a tough time, all the same.
Ah, but steeped in glory. We've never known such wealth since then.
What can you tell me about her?
We all knew she was famous on the mainland for her paintings. Never understood why. Then, I don't want to speak ill of the dead.
Her vision. Was it so terrible?
Way I see it, the truth is really a question of point of view.
Very
What do you mean by that?
Do you still trust the truth after a bottle of whiskey?
Her style made her famous. How would you describe it? Tortured?
Yeah. Well, it wasn't normal. I mean, for a young woman with a child and all that. We saw them in the papers and we said to ourselves, who can paint such things? Is that how she sees the world?
So they made you feel uncomfortable.
You need to see them for yourself. Make up your
I
own
think it was
mind.
cool as hell.
I've got what I need.
Anything else?
So I'm hesitant to order a drink because I don't want that affecting my destiny. I'm looking for warehouse.
Do you know where this place is? Warehouse 36, Darkwater Harbor.
The Hawkins warehouse. I see, yeah. If I were you, I wouldn't hang around there.
Why not?
First off, there are rumors. Sailors from around here say you can hear noises coming from the warehouse at night. Screams, that sort of thing.
Screams?
And that's not all. There's the fate of its owners and all the superstitions that go with it. But I'll say no more. Anything else?
Okay, so I don't want to order a drink.
That'll be
so I'm
all
just
for
going
now.
to leave. Okay. So I'm gonna just go around and look about. Another little harpoon.
Charles Hawkins was a heavy drinker. And a debtor. Interesting.
So yeah, he ran up $60. Ms. Baker, always free for the lady. So I'm guessing she's the one who gets them their alcohol. Those are straight up harpoons.
You have no right to treat us like this.
And the doctor, what did he say?
He laughed.
My God.
You said it.
She will.
The miraculous catch. Apparently, the most significant event of the last 80 years.
The Chanty, 21st of May, 1847, miraculous catch. The Scilly turns a port to save Darkwater from famine. We had given up hope. The crew of the Celia, or what remains of it, returned to Darkwater port late on Tuesday afternoon. The locals immediately rushed to the docks to welcome the last whaling ship on the island. People were amused at the sight of the unbelievable catch the brave vessel had on board, of a size that went beyond that of the formidable toothed whale. The cetacean that was already being called the miraculous catch covered the whole deck, and parts of it were hanging on to the other side. The surviving sailors told a frightening account of their perilous catch, but also of its meat, unmatched of quality and plentifully nutritious benefits. There are no doubts the immensity of the size of this whale will allow numerous inhabitants of Darkwater to feed themselves, bringing an end to the famine from which part of the island was suffering. Warehouse for rent. Mr. Marks is putting his warehouse up for rent from June for fishing, warehouse, or storage activities. You can contact him via your favorite newspaper or visit him on the docks. Special evening at the Stranded Whale. To celebrate the return of our brave whalers, all the staff of the Stranded Whale invite you to an exceptional and free tasting event. Come with your family or with friends to taste the miraculous catch. Each person will leave with a bottle of oil, so don't hesitate.
Oh, the girl doctor. Colden. She won't stop asking.
Not that again. She will get us into trouble.
I know.
Nightmares. Can hear things and voices whispering. Will follow its reader and appear at various locations, gifted with its own consciousness, until it finds a new reader.
The doctor, what did he say?
Hmm. So they're
The girl doctor. Colden.
Do you like our song?
We're true sirens.
We may not be pros, but we give it all we've got.
That's true. It's a reminder of the time when we were still fishing for whales off Darkwater Island.
I've never heard this song before.
Only people from here know it. It tells the story of the miraculous catch.
I saw the newspaper clipping. You don't believe it, do you?
Watch what you say, young man.
That catch saved our island.
Ah. Where's the proof?
We're the proof.
Without it, the whole of Darkwater would have died of hunger in 1847.
It's true. Everything happened just as it says in the newspaper report. Our grandparents tasted its flesh.
And it was delicious.
What brought whaling to an end?
The whales, of course.
They all disappeared.
You exhausted the stocks.
You could say that, yes. There were fewer and fewer of them.
Until the last, the biggest.
The one of the miraculous catch.
Exactly.
I bid you farewell, gentlemen.
Good night, stranger.
So long.
I had to wing of the girly boys.
So I like how there isn't just ambient sound that, like, you hear these guys singing. Like, that's really nice. Okay, let's continue to explore. Okay, this is the restroom. No, okay, definitely not the restroom. Okay. So...
What you looking at, stranger?
The clientele is predominantly male.
Tell me something I don't know.
I meant nothing by it. I'm just wondering what a woman like you is doing in this flea trap.
And I'm wondering what could be going through the head of the chump who goes to disturb her. Let me drink, stranger.
Okay. Okay, so I think I've looked at everything. So I think that's probably the lady who, is getting everyone their alcohol, and who is Ms. Baker. By the way, that person's penmanship is horrible. Okay, so I've gone through everything. And I doubt if I go over... Okay, let's see if there's anything new just around.
Damn stupid idiots.
No, that's the same.
Nobody listens to us anyway.
It really sucks that the conversation is on repeat.
You think we don't know what you're doing?
Okay, yeah. I got everything. Oh, that looks so amazing. Okay, before I talk to him, let's explore everything.
I wonder what Captain Fitzroy has got to say about this woman, Cat.
Okay, the terms of our agreement are clear. Keep your men under control. You cannot afford to provoke us. You need not to answer this message. Just make sure that your payment is in the carrier. Just make your payment to the carrier. So I think Kat is probably the lady bringing in the alcohol, who I'm thinking is Ms. Baker.
Broken. This place seems half abandoned.
Well, the place probably is abandoned. Like, look at that.
Fishing equipment. Could do with some rust remover.
Well, obviously. Okay, so this is just John. Okay.
A souvenir from a more prosperous era. I guess this blackboard hasn't been wiped for more than 70 years.
So, yeah, it's probably just listing off the different types of whales and the catch.
The Scylla. It finished up beached at the entrance to the harbor.
Oh, the Scylla is what it's called. So I'm not going to get in trouble for here, apparently, which is always fun. The Menace of Learning Volume 2. The second volume teaches ethics and good practice for staff. Okay, cool. Okay. So, if I go to Inhabitants, Roy Mitchell. 55, occupation owner of the Stranded Whale Bar. Roy Mitchell runs the only bar in Darkwater. Prohibition has no hold on the Stranded Whale, and sailors come to seek comfort in Mitchell's whiskey. The man therefore knows, more than anyone, the secrets and rumors of the inhabitants of the island in exchange for a few glasses. Michael is devoted to the golden age of whale hunting. If it's numerous trophies that decorate his establishment or anything to go by, the man will talk freely on the subject on which he is so keen. He is far less enthusiastic if anyone was to ask about the source of his liquor. Well, I mean, yeah. The Stranded Whale. Oh, damn it. The Stranded Whale. A bar where liquor is served with total impunity. It's the last thing I expect to find when I arrived on this island. The Stranded Whale in it is its name, and managed with iron hand of the owner, a certain Michael. Mitchell. He does not tolerate troublemakers and the fierce protest to the identity of his supplier. All the inhabitants of the area seem to go there and I even saw what looks to be a truce between the bootleggers and the sailors. Well, that's good. Okay, the Chantilly. So, wait, this falls under the... Okay, the miraculous catch. The miraculous catch is what the locals call the last catch of the whalers. In 1847, the whales were disappearing from the fishing zone of the dark water whalers. The crew of the Sicilia made a gigantic and monstrous catch that saved the island from famine. They still celebrate this catch, and the article from the Times still decorates the bar. It's strange that the memory seems so alive, as if maintained by the survivors. So what I'm kind of curious of is, why is this under the occult? Okay. So I already read that, we already read that. What? It's kind of bugging me that my inventory thing is always saying that I have new stuff. Oh, I do. Because of this. Okay, cool. Okay, so now I'm all caught up on everything new. What is that? Wait a minute. What? How did I do that? Okay, so that's my triangle button. Okay, seriously, what is that? That is green smoke coming off of that. Green light and green smoke. Is this guy not going to comment on that?
This man and Fitzroy could be twins.
That's probably Fitzroy. It's for the man who looks like Captain Fitzroy Bridge. He has a wooden leg. That's possibly Fitzroy. Of Captain Fitzroy, yep. Seriously, that is fucking great.
What a macabre souvenir.
Yeah, that's definitely Fitzroy.
I've brought out the Charles Hawkins cargo manifests. They're on the table next to you. But in truth, you're likely to be disappointed. When you're done, come join me on the deck.
Okay.
These manifests are signed by Charles Hawkins. But that's all I'll get from them.
Only a few dates. They're still legible, 1980, 1907, and a partial date. The rest of the documents is blacked out. Who would want this information to be hidden? Well, you moved quickly for... I was about to say, you moved very quickly. So, wait a minute. You have your legs.
From here, I see everything that goes on in the harbor. The hard-working lives of my sailors, the fights at the stranded whale. Even the antics of these wharf rats don't escape me.
It's you who lays down the law around here.
Oh, I wouldn't go that far. I'm just the last serving captain on Darkwater. Tell me what I can do to help you.
Your manifests have been blacked out. They're totally unreadable.
Yeah, I saw that. I've got no idea who did it or why. I don't remember having countersigned anything special enough for someone to hide it.
And why obliterate the dates, as well as the goods stored in the warehouse?
You mean that the dates have some meaning?
I'm surprised Charles Hawkins had goods to store, knowing that whaling stopped in 1847.
I see that you're interested in the history of our island. Indeed, maritime activities ceased altogether at the end of the last century. I imagine that the Hawkins family had other types of contracts.
But you don't know with whom?
No. It was none of my business.
Talk about Darkwater.
I was looking at your photograph. The one of the man in front of the boat.
Ah, yes, I can see the one you're talking about.
Interesting resemblance. I thought it was you, but with a wooden leg.
And for good reason. That's my father in the photograph.
Your father?
John Fitzroy, captain of the Scylla. His wooden leg is here. You can go and see it if you're interested.
I'm just back from the wharves. The dead killer whale is unsettling the sailors.
Ah, yes. Us men of the sea are superstitious folk.
The wounds are unnatural.
I examined its wounds. I know of no creature able to cause them.
And I took you for a detective.
Believe me when I say that these wounds are significant.
Come, come. You've only just arrived on Darkwater, and already you think like a sailor.
The police took the decision to put the killer whale back into the sea.
You've got to understand them. They didn't know what to do with it.
I think that was a mistake. Who says that whatever caused those wounds is no longer in these waters?
You think we should have kept it?
To look into the real cause of its death, at least. The miraculous catch. Is it a local legend?
Not at all. It's an episode from our glorious past. Go read the story of the sailor's return to Darkwater Harbor. It's displayed on a wall of the stranded whale.
I found a threatening letter, signed by a certain cat.
What? I don't mind you visiting my harbor master's office, but I prefer if you didn't go through my affairs.
Are you being blackmailed?
Not exactly, no. That shyster wants to make us pay protection money.
With any success?
I wouldn't say that, but she terrifies my men as much as her own.
Can you not do anything to stop her?
Don't you worry about that.
Okay, so it's definitely the woman that we spoke with.
I'm looking for Warehouse 36. Do you know where it is?
Look, it's right there. The warehouse is opposite the jetty. You can't miss it.
Understood.
You know who the building belongs to, don't you?
It belonged to the Hawkins family.
Precisely. Ship owners from father to son.
I think that somebody here wanted me to search this warehouse. Can you tell me where the
Look, I've already shown it to you. It's the one with the cop on guard duty out front. You can't miss it.
Understood.
Okay.
I shall be on my way.
So come back and see me when you've got something new.
Okay, so I wonder if I can go accuse this... Oh, consult my diary. Okay. So the last thing I'm going to do today, or this live stream, is... Okay, so I can put one more, so I can do my psychology. So, because I do think psychology is going to be a very important thing in this, as well as the occultism. And then I'm probably gonna level this one up next. Sanity. I'm still sable. Yeah. James Fitzroy, age 45, occupation captain. James Fitzroy is the captain of the Carbis, the only boat that still sails between Darkwater and Boston. His base is the harbor master's office, from where he misses nothing that happens on the island. The inhabitants of Darkwaters respect him, the bootleggers despise him. He offered to help me in my investigation. Oh, that's nice of him. Clues. Manifest. Only a few days are still legible. Yeah. Okay. Oh. Of Captain Fitzroy. Okay, so I guess we don't get... I don't believe that that's his dad, though. I really don't. I just can't believe that it is. So I'm gonna go try and talk to who I'm suspecting is Cat again. So can I talk to this bloke?
You again. What can I get you?
Is there anything new?
What do you know about the Hawk?
If I were you,
Why not?
first say, and that's but anything.
Charles Hawkins owed you a lot of money. Do you know if he had problems?
I don't know the details, and it's not my business. Money or not, he was always welcome in my bar. The Hawkins family was always much appreciated on the island.
You seem to know Charles Hawkins.
Well, we all knew she was then.
Okay.
I've got what I need.
Oh wait, no, there was
You
more.
seem to...
We all then.
You don't dare say a thing because you respect their memory. But that doesn't mean that you don't have a lot on your mind.
You're not a PI for nothing. Okay. I don't know what it's worth, though. But Mrs. Hawkins, she went to see her doctor very often.
She was sick.
Ah, I shouldn't have mentioned it to you. Forget it.
No, you son of a bitch.
I've got what...
Anything...
Okay.
That'll be
Still
all.
don't want to order... Like, I want to order a drink, but I don't. Okay, so this guy... There's someone...
What? Another break?
One of those damn sailors came looking for trouble again.
But he won't try again anytime soon. We gave him a good hiding.
So you said to yourselves that after such a feat, you could abandon your post.
It's just a little drink. We taught those guys a lesson.
We'll return right after. Just that standing guard in this alley makes your throat dry.
That fool Fitzroy can't keep his dogs on a leash.
I'll have to send him a more clear-cut message. I told you to beat it.
Okay. So she's a very unfriendly type. Okay.
Ah, that's it. Maybe we should let him take it. No. No, the risks are too high. It's a book, after all. Pure knowledge.
And the doctor, what did he say? My God.
Okay, guys, as I enjoy the last drink of my coffee, I'm going to kind of recap everything that seems to be making sense and going on right now. So, everything right now seems that it's... Well, the story so far is that this PI... I can't remember his name to save my life. No, I don't want that. Mr. Pierce. Mr. Pierce was hired by this Sarah Hopkins' father to investigate her disappearance, which led him to this town of Darkwater, which looks absolutely lovely and amazing. Which it used to be a whaling town, or whaling port, until the supplies dried up. And from there, and now kind of it's held on by the superstition of the being out in sea, as well as, I guess, seeing the lady in there, whose name I'm supposing is Kat, but in reality is Miss Baker. And so, right now, what I have to do is I need to get to the warehouse that the Hawkins family owned. Oh, also that it's theorized that that Mrs. Hawkins killed her husband, her son, and herself by causing a fire that due to insanity. And that's kind of all I really know for now. So we'll probably find out next time, or find out more when we actually get into warehouse 36. Wait, did that move? That's a lot closer.
Damn stupid idiots. Forget it. Nobody listens to us anyway.
Sorry,
That's
I
no
just...
way to treat an omen.
Oh, yeah?
These wounds, I know of no animal that could have inflicted them.
Sorry, I saw that these got moved, and...
It's a sign. There's something coming.
Sorry, guys, I know You didn't tell me that the warehouse I was looking for was right in front of us.
Because its owner is dead. And I don't want to see you hanging around it. Now please, leave us to our work.
So am I gonna?
You can't understand. You're not sailors.
Okay,
Oh
so
yeah, it's a sign. There's
they're
something
dragging.
trouble. Something
So I'm
real
guessing and now this is part of just speculation. The killer whale is an omen of Cthulhu coming, I'm guessing. But oh my god, these wounds are.
You can't understand. You're not sailors. It's a sign.
Okay,
There's something
so that's kind of all I absolutely know. Okay, so I can go more that way if I want to, but I'll deal with that next time. Actually, while we're here, I'm just gonna try and talk to anyone on Captain Fitzroy's boat. Can I talk to you? Oh, what was up with that eerie ass sound? The boat has moved. Okay, so that's kind of all I know so far. So I'm hoping we're gonna get a lot more story next time. This is just kind of the beginning, as I've labeled it, even though I'm gonna label it as "Take My Lantern" when this uploads tomorrow later today. But yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching and hanging out with me. I greatly appreciate it. And I hope to see you guys in the next live stream, which will be tomorrow. And yeah, it was a blast playing this for you guys. Have a fantastic day. And with the last drink of my coffee, I bid you adieu.